These are just some highlighted moments of prior shows that have aired between the year 2020 and 2021. We thank all of our beloved guests, our partners, and our sponsors of Uncut Live Productions. We've got plenty more content coming at you. Stay tuned, lock and loaded, Uncut Live Productions.
And you need to understand that change is either going to happen to you or for you. You decide. It's going to happen to you or for you. When people in Berry Farms housing community got word that they were going to be closing Berry Farms down, there was going to be renovations planned for that community, that area. There were some people who were fighting to keep it the same. There were some people who were fighting to get back in after the renovation. But do understand and clearly understand, it's not part of the plan for you to be there. Right. It is not part of the plan for you to be there. If it was part of the plan for you to be there, there wouldn't be so much push and pull when it comes to the ask to our government officials, those who are in charge of that plan. And some of those same people who wanted to fight to keep things the same are some of the same people that are not involved on a daily or weekly basis enough to make a difference.
I have an old
Black Rose Garden Community Love with Angela
I have been
Taylor,
taking him back and forth
821.
to the polls. I've been knowing him since 2016 elections. Okay, no, before that, because we went to one before that, but he called me. He needed help with his mail-in ballot. So I went to his house, helped him out with his mail-in ballot. He had passed me on to all of the people in the community. So I just started from his house and I went on down. And I helped as many people as I could, you know, with that mail-in vote. Not only that, calling me a lift, getting in that lift and going up there to the Board of Elections and taking them there. So it's like, we all can contribute to this thing. We all can do something. It ain't even though you don't have to have a car. Like you said, you don't have to have a whole bunch of money. You know, it's just having compassion for others and understanding that, you know, just being grateful. They talk a good game, but then we don't see them. Again, you know, they've got these hidden agendas, these ulterior motives. So trust is huge. Trust is huge in our community. And being a Ward 8 baby and coming from east of the river and understanding from my family story, the reality of how difficult it can be when you're navigating mental health issues and exposures. I came out to be the poster child, so to speak. I came out so that I could use my experience as a way to be able to help families in the communities that I come from to understand that it's about education. It's about being able to understand what it looks like, understanding what you can do when you know that perhaps this is something that is a reality for you. But a little bit about me, just so that you'll understand my approach and how our organization approaches this. The reality is that there are many doctors and there are many therapeutic understandings of how we would approach mental health. But what I saw and what I recognized is that a lot of times we don't like the idea of discussing our mental health openly. There's a stigma, Kenneth, that you hear us talk about. And for those of you that don't know stigma is a mark of disgrace. And, you know, it comes from the historical understanding that, you know, if there was something different about you or something that was not believed to be acceptable in your behaviors, that you were wearing the mark of disgrace. And so, unfortunately, because we are a community that comes from lower means, we're generally last at everything and understand.
They condemn individuals because there's no education. Mental health is a human thing. And we've got some talking, we've got some education to do. Really understand that that when it comes to the topic of mental health, you can't just be spiritual with it. We've got to not just put scripture on mental health to neglect what needs to be handled in the physical. You know, you can say put the book of Psalms on it all day. You can say God is, He's a father to the fatherless. You know, you can say those things, but we were created as beings to intertwine, to be, God uses people in the physical. What do you, like, do you have a vision?
Black justice to me basically just means getting what's due. You know, if something is, my thing is, and like, because I briefly heard.
And it's funny though, because I was just having a conversation with my significant other. We were talking about the holy fire, and we were talking about how the way that the fire is represented in this age and this stage is looked upon as destruction. It's looked upon as desire. Disasters. It's looked upon as wrong, but in all reality, like he said, it's cleansing. You know, right now we're being chopped and screwed with our mental, from coronavirus, from the pandemic, from the food, from a lot of things that's going on. I can go on and on and on, and that's a prime example of how situations, circumstances are being switched up now.
Calculation is definitely not God's calculation. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, he's very soon to return, but he's waiting on you, and just like Brother Kenny said, you don't have to be all deep and everything. God ain't looking for nothing deep. He's just looking for a willing vessel.
Why the black dollar is disrespected. Or better yet, we're going to talk about why, okay. Don't start. Like it's hot. I know that's right. Don't start now. Let's talk about that money. Money. So, I'm going to go first on this one.
I would say, why don't you let her tell with the really spark this, because we was all heated when we saw.
Yeah, I was ready to put some work in. I was right about to call my homies up.
Let's go in there and just handle it.
About let homeboy know that you got to go.
Get it together. So what happened was I went into a 7-Eleven because you guys know I love coffee, and COVID is going on. So in this particular 7-Eleven at 14th and Columbia Road in Northeast Washington, D.C., put it on out there, the manager in there, you have to buy your cup first and then get it. So they pour the coffee for you. So while I was in line, there was a lady in front of me, which I frequent this 7-Eleven often with a friend of mine. And there was this lady in front of me, and she's buying up all this stuff. And I noticed at the end, when it came time to get her bags, he didn't charge her. But he normally charges me or my friend who are black, and she was Indian or of Spanish culture or race, and he didn't charge her for it. He just gave it to her. So I asked him and questioned him. I'm like, so you're not going to charge her for the bags? That's none of your business. You need to mind your business. That's none of your business. So as he was ringing me up, I saw the receipt right there, and I grabbed it because I'm like, okay, let me see, did he charge her? Am I wrong? He didn't charge her. So I was like, I come in here all the time, and you charge me for these bags. But here it is. You didn't. Well, I have the right to not charge her. You mind your business, and you need to hurry up and get up out of here. I said, but that's not fair. You can get up out of here, you nigger. You a nigger.
Whoa. My name is Christopher, by the way, Christopher DeWitt. I was at Sunnybrook Tavern back in 2018 on December 16th. I was in there consuming alcohol beverage. I just walked in. I ordered a Heineken on Long Island. Wasn't there but approximately 10 minutes. I was approached by a white male, Caucasian male at that. Also, later on found out he was a Charles County sheriff. And he threw a basket of food, onion rings at me to be his.
That church used to be a competition. That you can compete to who has it, but church is not a competition. This race is not given to the swift. it's those that run the race and run it smoothly and run it with not haste but with patience, that they're able to move and be able to be graded and be grabbed onto a higher potential than what they are on themselves.
That it took when I was trying to get into transitional programs, and the requirements that they were saying was, are you incarcerated?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have an ankle bracelet? Are you on your analysis? Have you been recently incarcerated? You know, these.
Right, so those are things that you have to fall into that box for you to be privy to that program?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then just recently, due to the COVID and mentoring a couple of guys in the neighborhood, a young fella about 21 years of age, came to me and said, I want to get into some type of apprenticeship program or vocational program to help myself, because basically he was put into a situation whereby both his parents passed away, and he was having some trouble with trying to navigate and find a support services,
Support group, support
to
network,
be able
right.
to get him onto his feet, such as housing and things of such. And he was telling me the different situations
that he had encountered.
that he encountered.
Okay.
And then, he gave me one of the programs, and I called the programs and said, well, and they basically pretty much told me what he had told me was true.
Right.
Hey,
he didn't qualify, basically.
He didn't qualify because,
he didn't fall into the criteria of the program.
Okay. And he was like, so do I have to become? This is what he asked, and I was like, no, we got to talk about this. He said, so in order for me as a black man to get help, are they telling me that if I become a criminal or I indulge in obnoxious behavior, that I will be able to get a car, or that I will be able to get a bed? So are we pushing, is the society pushing black men, or the powers that be, that were black men, some black men like himself, are affected? Are they pushing the agenda to accommodate wrongdoing?
To be included, you either tear them down because it doesn't work and rebuild them, or the people that built them have to take some power away. Like we did some people dirty. Like we really shouldn't have been. Like where people are being brutally oppressed. So now I have to go back to the drawing table and take initiative and hold myself accountable and do right by these people, because we've been doing wrong by them. But that's here.
So I'm going to ask this only because it's so relevant to the times of, November is right around the corner. And you have a whole lot of people that's discouraged with the vote. Do you feel that there is, how do you feel about the vote?
Going out to vote.
Yes.
We should vote. If our lives matter, so does our vote. But to vote does not mean that this thing is wrapped up. You know what I'm saying?